Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and I'm on my way into the office again to do paperwork and get on the telephone and settle cases and work on my cases that are in suit and all that good stuff. In other words, be a lawyer. And I wanted to shoot you a video about managing expectations, managing time and dollar expectations in an injury case. In other words, can I get a big settlement quick, exactly when I want it? So I had a conversation with a lady who, because of her personal circumstances, has a hard time deadline for when she needs her case settled, and is very, very adamant that it needs to get done no matter what, but also has very high dollar expectations for her injuries. And there are details in her case which make that very, very challenging. So we're very efficient at my office. We were able to get all of our medical in, get a demand letter done, get a summary done. So we have an excellent understanding of how her injury occurred and how much her medical bills are and exactly what the diagnosis is and, you know, what her medical outcome is and what the future medical treatment needs to be. And we did a really great demand letter to the insurance company, but the client's unhappy. Why? Because the insurance company really dragged their feet with giving us an offer, and their offer was low. It's still low. We're attempting to get more money for the client, but I will explain to you exactly what I explained to her. It takes two to tango in an injury case. So in your mind, you can say, no matter what, I want the case wrapped up in 6 months. Hard out, 6 months, that's it. And then you can also have an idea in your head that I need to put $10,000 in my pocket no matter what. 6 months, that's the deadline, right? Well, unfortunately, the only thing I can really control is, well, first, you need to understand that until and unless you are done going to the doctor or you've plateaued, in other words, your medical treatment is over and you're just not getting any better and whatever you're left with is permanent for you, until you've plateaued or you're done going to the doctor, I can't order your medical records and give the insurance company a clear idea about exactly what your injury is. So for example, let's say this week we settle your case, right? Because you want to settle it, but you're still going to the doctor and you still have complaints. We settle your case, and then in 2 months the doctor says, oh, you need surgery. Well, we can't go back and get more money for the surgery. In other words, we can't and we shouldn't really settle your case until we know exactly what's going on. And we don't really know that until, you know, if you're off work, you return to work and try to do the same job and all that stuff. But the other issue, of course, is I need time to get the medical records in, which with hospitals and certain medical providers, that's a real struggle. Many of them are still very, very understaffed based on the lockdowns and shutdowns and stuff like that, and the problem with finding employees. So they're understaffed, so it takes them forever to get the medical records to me. And then we're very quick and very thorough in doing summaries and demand letters. So once that happens, we're sort of at the mercy of the insurance company. If we have a lazy insurance adjuster or a bad insurance adjuster, or they're overwhelmed at the insurance company and understaffed, or they just give us a crummy offer, our only recourse is to resolve to fight, okay? Which I'm happy to do. What does that mean? That means I get on the phone with them and say, look, last chance, I'm gonna file a lawsuit. And then we file a lawsuit, and then what happens when we file a lawsuit is they change insurance adjusters, they hire a lawyer, and then, you know, sometimes when a new adjuster looks at it, I'm able to settle the case. But other times, that means the case is going to go on for another year or two because we can't get a number from the insurance company that's fair. Now, if somebody tells me they want to take short money on a case because of a time deadline or something like that, I'm very respectful of the circumstances in your life, and I will tell you whether I think it's a bad idea, and it usually is. You know, you don't want to come to the bargaining table with a time deadline or a dollar expectation that is so firm, because you may not be familiar with the strengths or weaknesses of your case or the technical procedures which might make your case difficult, right? And there's no law saying that the insurance company has to give you an offer within 30 or 60 days of when I send out a demand letter to them. So you're setting yourself up for frustration and a bad outcome if you have this idea that you can impose, or you have this idea in your head that there's this time deadline that you will strictly adhere to, or a dollar amount that you're going to strictly adhere to. It may be that the case has more value than you think, than your attorney thinks. But I would caution you about that, because first of all, the lawyer gets paid based on what they get you. So in an injury case, whether it's workers' comp or a car crash or anything, because the lawyer gets paid a percentage of what they win for you, of course the lawyer wants to get you as much as possible, right? Because every additional dollar they get you, they're getting, 30, 40, or 20% more as their attorney's fees. So it's worth it for them to do it that way. But if you're, who's in possession of all the little intricate detail facts and what's written in your medical records and what the doctor said and problems that appear in the medical records and what the cases usually settle for and all these sorts of things, right? How big a problem an error in your medical records might end up being, things of that nature, right? So usually it's a good idea to sort of listen to your lawyer. And if they tell you that your time expectation is not enough time, or they tell you that the dollar amounts do not make sense, I usually encourage people to listen to their lawyer. Now, that's not to say that I haven't heard from lots and lots of people who call me for a consultation who had a former lawyer who, at least on a couple of occasions, I think, misanalyzed the case or missed an injury completely, or didn't consider a legal theory that they could have that changed the value of the case. So that's why it's always good to get a free consultation from an attorney, because attorneys who do this for a living know the ins and outs, presumably, and can give you a better idea. But it's not until the lawyer has all the facts that they can give you a final read. And they're not going to have all the facts until they've done an investigation, you're done going to the doctor, and they have all the information they need to evaluate the case. So maybe bad news, may not be what you want to hear. It's comforting to think that maybe you can call your shot. Attorney, I'm going to give you 3.5 months, and I want $10,000 in my pocket no matter what. That's comforting because it gives you certainty, but it may not be realistic. And that's, no matter what, you're going to put money in your pocket. But I guess the Reader's Digest is temper your expectations and work with your attorney to develop realistic expectations, right? I know that there are lawyers out there who every phone call they tell the client, oh yeah, it's a great case. Well, my theory is that they're doing it so you sign up with them. And then, because no one can really know whether you have a great case until they do a full investigation. So that's my point, ladies and gentlemen. That's my point. Just because a lawyer who's trying to get your case signed up tells you, no problem, we can wrap it up in 3 months and it's $1 million case, that doesn't necessarily make it so. So anyway, not great news. This may not be information you're happy to hear, but I will tell you the truth about bad news or bad information or negative information that you wish you didn't hear, you're always better off knowing the truth. Even if it makes you angry, even if it makes you frustrated, even if it makes you fearful, you are always better off knowing what's going on and knowing the facts of whatever situation you're in, than you are operating in the dark or operating under the idea that reality is something other than what it is. So, sorry to be the deliverer of a bitter pill, maybe, but that's just sort of the way it is. I hope this info helped you. If you need help, or you know someone who's been involved in an accident and needs to talk to an injury lawyer, please give me a call, 312-500-4500, 312-500-4500. You can call that anytime, day or night, free consultation. Even if you don't have a case or I can't take the case, I'm happy to answer your questions, help you however I can. And look in my description. I have a place where you can give me a 5-star review if you enjoy my info. And I also have a ton of tools on my website, like the Do I Have a Good Case calculator and the case settlement value. How much money is my case worth calculator. Totally free. Both of them take 10 or 15 seconds to do. There's no typing. You just multiple choice select and it gives you an answer to your question. Of course, it's not legal advice. I just got done telling you that nobody can really give you legal advice without full possession of the facts. But those tools do give you a way to quickly, without stress, get some information about what your case value might be, or whether you might have a good case or you might have a challenging case. And that's why I created it, because those are like the two most common questions people have. And those are 100% free right on my website. Links in the description below. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. And as you can see, I'm in my parking garage, so I better wrap it up. The only thing that will shut a lawyer up, make him stop talking, is when he absolutely has to stop talking, and that's right now. So thanks again, folks. Have a good one, and take care.